Tonight on the House of Tiny Tearaways.
I don't want you to hate me.
We've done the right way about it.
Don't kick anything.
No, I just want to go home.
In the house behind me, there are 3 families in turmoil. The Butters want to leave, the Baileys have just arrived, and Becca and Paul have argued so much they don't know what they want to do. Elizabeth and Laverne have really got their work cut out for them, trying to sort out this lot. When relationships are at breaking point.
I love my little girl so much, and sometimes I really hate her dad.
Young families are on the edge.
Mum, I'm not getting bussed around no more!
And the kids are out of control.
You stop fighting me! Stupid.
This is where they come, the House of Tiny Tearaways. 2 of the country's leading child psychologists, Laverne Antrobus and Elizabeth Kilby, are on hand to provide intensive therapy. They'll observe how these young parents operate and then intervene to help them turn their lives around. To do this, they'll be able to watch up to 24 hours a day via remote cameras and those hidden behind mirrors.
Out now! Now!
Living here means the parents and their kids can behave as normally as possible, free from distractions.
There is no telly.
Go on then, walk away, little boy.
Shut up.
Walk away.
All the parents coming into the house over this month-long TV event are hoping that Laverne and Elizabeth can make a real difference to their lives. But whether they can remains to be seen.
You naughty, naughty daddy.
17-year-olds Paul and Becca came into the house to try and sort out 11-month-old baby Lacey's sleeping. Their relationship is on the rocks as they're struggling to cope with the pressures of being parents.
Give her to me.
Laverne's helped them get into a daily routine, but Paul's ignored his breakfast duties for 2 days running, leaving it all to Becca. The result?
You brought this on yourself.
Shut up, so if I lose my temper then I'm really idiot.
Their worst row since arriving. 26-year-old Martin and 23-year-old Sherry Bailey arrived in the house yesterday afternoon with their 3 kids, 4-year-old Todd, 5-year-old Tamsin and 10-month-old Jessica. With Sherry working nights and Martin working days, the Baileys don't get to spend much time together as a family. At home, Todd and Tamsin cause mayhem at bedtime.
No.
So Martin and Sherry have put locks on their bedroom doors. Yesterday, Elizabeth and Laverne observed their first night in the house.
Get out now. Out of the bedroom now.
This time, there were no locks for Martin and Sherry to hide behind.
Lie down!
28-year-old David and 21-year-old Sammy Butters came to the house because their 3-year-old triplets, Lewis, Taylor Jean and Lily Sue, were too much to handle.
Get into your beds now.
Sammy never really bonded with the triplets after suffering from postnatal depression when they were born. Sammy is now pregnant again, but said she's only able to cope with 4-month-old baby Alfie. The triplets are left to David. Elizabeth and Laverne tried to send David go-karting for the day to encourage Sammy to take control with the kids. Her jealousy got the better of her and she told Elizabeth that she wanted to go home. Now everything they've been working for is in jeopardy.
We've come here as a family, and we're leaving as a broken one.
It's mid-morning and after having spent 3 days and 3 nights here, Sammy Butters has had enough.
I'm not looking forward to sat here, bored on my head.
Why are you going to be bored?
What am I supposed to do?
Leave the kids, take the kids on the
How
back.
can I? I don't want to go out the back, David. I need to get out like you are.
Then ask him if you can do something.
I can't. I want to go out with you.
See, I'm not being funny, sorry, but it can't be always me and you. We're together, right, all the time, right, you know what I mean? We need a break.
Oh, God, your drills are off here.
So this is what we're up against all the time, Sammy. It's never going to change, right, because you're always going to be like this. You're always going to say, if I want to go somewhere, it's always going to be no. And what happens when we have the other baby? Then there's 5 of them. It's going to be even worse, it's going to be even harder. What are you going to do then? You're never going to let me out of the house, you're just going to lock me in all the
I
time.
don't even want to think about that, David. I want to think about now, not then, in the future.
Yeah, but this is now affects our future, Sammy.
Going home.
It's not, they're not dignity to me.
I don't see the point in talking because we're just going to argue.
We're arguing anyway.
Yeah, but we're not getting nowhere. We're going around in a big massive circle.
That's all we have to do. I know you aren't. That's why we'll never get anywhere because you won't compromise. We'll always just be going round in a circle, Sammy, in this vicious circle. And it's not good. It's not good for us.
I'd leave like this.
It's not good for the kids. That's why the kids are like they are, because all I do is here is arguing all the time and fighting.
Why don't I just go now and leave you to it?
Because I don't want you to go.
Come with me.
Do you know, if this hadn't cropped up something, if the aunt said to me, right, oh, right, you're going out for the morning, right, and you're looking after the kids, you wouldn't be like this.
Would you wish it hadn't cropped up?
In a way, yeah. But in a way, I'm glad it has. No, I'm glad it has because now they can see what you like.
I'm not bothered.
I'm glad people now can see what you like, Sammy. You know what I mean? You've obviously got a problem.
So?
And I can't understand what it is. I can't understand if it's you don't like being after the kids.
I don't. I want to go out.
See, now you're acting like a little child again.
I'm not bothered.
I want to go out. I didn't ask for him, right, Sammy, right, to say, right, Dave, you're going go-karting, right, and Sammy, right, you've got to look after the kids.
I don't want to do nothing.
It's not.
I'm going home, David.
You don't get the point of it, do you, what they're trying to do?
Yeah, I do.
So what are they trying to do?
Trying to leave me with the kids.
Yeah, and see, because they know that you can do it, that's why.
But I don't see the point in proving it. I don't need to. I don't want to. I don't have to, David. No one can force me.
So why'd you come on the show for? Is it just to get your face on telly?
Start the sleep routine out, you right, off.
After getting up early to do breakfast, a job Paul was meant to do, a sleepy Becca has decided to head back to the bedroom for a morning snooze.
I'm going for a nap, okay? So you'll have to look after these for a minute. Right, guys, I'll be back in a minute, okay? You stay with Uncle Paul, yeah? You make him play with you on the slides.
With the Butters busy arguing, Paul is looking after the triplets.
So, I mean, we're lucky we've gone the house, right? We've met some good friends. You know what I mean? You get on with Paul, you get on with Becca, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're naughty.
I mean, it doesn't matter about the other people in the house, you know what I mean? They are our proper friends, you know what I mean? We've got to know them properly.
Do you know, right, what Elizabeth told me? That she said you were going out today, I mean, you were doing something tonight. But it's not fair because you've got to go out and, you know, have some space, but I haven't. I think it's a bit unfair.
I can see. I know exactly what you're saying, Sammy. But it's the way you're saying it. It's like what a kid would say if they're not getting the wrong way. It's not fair. You know what I mean?
I tell you now, I want to go home, David. Please, will you support me? Because I can't stand it here no more.
What? Because she's typically.
No, I just want to go home.
In the garden, Todd Bailey is busy giving his mum the runaround.
Todd, you're coming in now, you know that, don't you? Give me the banana.
Okay, I'm gonna do it now. You just need to get on it. Go across the bridge and down there.
I told you to sit up the table with it.
Okay. Are you gonna wake me up?
I'm not racing you anywhere.
With tension in just about every corner of the house, the only person getting any peace at the moment is Becca. In the lounge, Martin and Sherry Bailey are looking after the Butters triplets.
You build a towel, Todd.
Baby Alfie, go. Baby Alfie.
Baby Alfie?
Yeah.
Asleep in bed.
After threatening to leave all morning, Sammy appears to have worked herself into a state. Elizabeth and Laverne have teamed up to try and make her see reason. If they can't, all the work they've done will have been for nothing.
Okay. Is it right that when we decided that David would go out this morning and you would be here with the triplets and Alfie, we made the wrong decision for you?
I think it was.
Yeah, okay, you think it was. Sammy, was it the wrong, did we make the wrong decision?
Nothing to do with being left with the kids.
But that decision triggered a response in you that we weren't expecting. And actually, I think what you're saying is, coming into this house, the spotlight has felt too great, too harsh on me, even though we've got a very different view of that, because we do think that, you know, everybody's had to think about and confront things that aren't nice. But it feels like today you're saying, actually, this spotlight is too much, and actually I can't do this.
I can do it. I can look after the triplets. I just can't deal with the fact that David's going go-karting.
Yeah, that's it. So you can't deal with the fact that he's going go-karting.
Yeah.
And do you know what? We've just got to accept that, actually, otherwise we're going to get stuck.
Yeah, that's what I thought upstairs. I was just going to say, you know what I mean, it's pointless us saying, you know what I mean, I have to go, you know what I mean, 'cause it's just going to make things worse and worse and worse.
So what have you decided?
Just not to go.
There was a logic to why Laverne and I had suggested for David to go out, and what I want to do is to feel like we can move forward in a positive way, so that I don't want to get this scenario where David has had to back down and there's been somebody who's got something, somebody who's lost out, because that isn't going to help you and your relationship in the long term. We cannot have winners and losers in arguments like this, because this is why you go home and have these arguments on a bigger scale and a bigger scale, and then it gets more aggressive, and then your children suffer. What I want you guys to do is to communicate and have compromise, Sammy. What I don't want ultimatums, I don't want giving with one hand and taking away with the other.
It's whether or not, Sammy, you are prepared to take that leap of faith with us, and to remember why you said you wanted to come into the house.
I haven't come to start a relationship, I haven't come to start with kids out.
Yeah,
Are they
part
sorted?
Of the kids, part, no,
No,
they're
David,
not.
I don't want to start a relationship out.
Say a bit more about that then, Sammy, because
I don't care at the moment. I care about the kids, not him.
Sammy, I think we're straying into ultimatum territory again now, because I feel like I've got to know you quite well in the time we've spent together, and I know that a bit of you feels very angry and jealous and like you want to push David away, but there is a bit of you that doesn't feel like that. There's a bit of you that cares very deeply about him and feels very attached to him and very scared and worried when he leaves you. And what we're doing now is sliding backwards and forwards, and what I need you to do
Let's stick to one.
is to come to a bit of a stop, actually. And the reality of relationships is that it's not one extreme or the other, it's somewhere in the middle.
But isn't it showing that our relationship can't go anywhere? Because we're just stuck at this point all the time, so why not just call it a day?
I don't think that's...
What's the point in putting ourselves through this all the time when we can be happy without each other?
Well,
Hang on, Sammy, are you happy? You can't even let David go go-karting, and you're telling me that the rest of your life without David you're going to be perfectly happy. It's not realistic, is it?
Sammy, if you're really going to help us to help you, we have to think about what David going away reminds you of. Because it's so extreme, Sammy. We had thought she's going to find this difficult,
Yeah.
but we didn't, you know, I have to hold my hands up. I had no idea that it would produce all of those feelings and emotions in you.
I don't know where it comes from.
Okay.
Got nothing it taps into.
All right. Where do you think the feeling, and I'm just going to talk now, okay?
Okay.
Where do you think the sort of feeling of you being a little bit like another one of the children in this family, where does that sit with you? Because at times I think we've seen you sort of veer between the two. Sometimes you're that excellent mum, but sometimes it's very much, oh, David, take care of me. Is that what you saw your mum doing?
No.
No.
Mum's just, I don't know, not very maternal.
What do you remember?
She wasn't like me sometimes. She didn't kisses and cuddles and that type of side.
Okay.
She was more for like spoiling us.
Mm-hmm. With things,
Money.
Yeah,
rather than attention.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's really helpful, because I think one of the things that David tries to do is to look after absolutely everybody in his family. And I think he does try to be quite maternal and very nurturing. And I think you benefit from a lot of that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've heard something really powerful actually listening to this conversation. I've heard you say, my mum gave me stuff, but not attention. And I think something that happened this morning was that you saw us giving David stuff, giving something, and you associate stuff with love. When you don't get attention but you get objects instead, it's almost like the objects are compensation for not having the love.
So say my brother gets more stuff than me, that's why I get angry.
Yeah.
I think that's really
You're
powerful.
saying it, Sammy.
But see, I try and be different than them. I do give them lots of kisses and cuddles.
And you do it fantastically well. But that doesn't mean that somewhere in your mind there's not a reminder. I'm not saying it's a conscious thing.
Yeah.
But unconsciously, every time you do it, it is a bit of a reminder of something that you didn't have. And the least we can do is get you to think about it.
I can't think about anything at the moment.
Okay,
My head's all over
brilliant.
the place.
That's what I want you to say.
Good.
Because that is exactly it, Sammy. You cannot think about anything at the moment when you're in this state. You can't think about it. You just can't. It's too much. But by running out of this house and back home, you're still going to have to think about it at some stage, but you've got us here to help you think about it.
It'll come with you, Sammy.
Shall we stop?
Yeah.
Sammy, what do you like?
Want to have kids.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that sounds a very good suggestion.
Might make me a bit happier.
Okay.
Yeah.
God. Hello.
Hiya.
Hello. Playing.
Are you building a house?
You been good? Yeah.
Hi, Mummy.
Hiya.
So Sammy had a real crisis there, didn't she? What's that about? Had 3 kids, it was just an afternoon.
Well, I mean, we knew that she might be a little bit surprised and a little bit put out, but actually to see her face when we told her that this was going to happen, and I didn't have her down to say, I'm going home. I had her down to say, I'm not doing it, I'm not looking after the children, but she just stomped off upstairs and said, that's it, I'm packing.
Also, just to take that cop out, to decide that you're going to come in and sort out these 3 children who are sort of driving you bananas at bedtime, and then the minute it gets a little bit tired, just go, that's it, I want to get in the taxi.
But I think that's Sammy all over, isn't it? That she's really in this pattern. This is how she behaves. You know, sometimes she's the mum, sometimes she's one of David's children. And at that moment, she was one of David's children, and it felt like he was abandoning her, and she couldn't bear it.
So how are you going to go ahead?
This is very precarious. Sammy is incredibly stressed. And this is, when she's in this state, in fact, it's impossible to work with her, and actually you can't move her forward. So we need to get her back to a state where we can begin to do some work with her. So I think we've got to say, actually, David, it's not going to be helpful or productive for you to go out. We need to think about something for them to do together as a family this afternoon.
It's late morning, and outside Martin Bailey's doing his best to entertain Todd and Tamsin.
Right, this is what you got to do. I'll show you. Slide this one out as gently as you can, but you can't make it fall. You pull it out, and you both do it gently. Ooh.
Good girl.
No, you little cheat. Right, I don't really think we're getting this game, are we?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, got it. No.
Todd, no, you're not to kick it.
Oh, you just run. Come on.
Ready?
Come then.
Had anything more out?
Do not chuck them.
Do not chuck bricks, you'll hurt people.
Chuck. Go indoors, please. No, go
You
indoors,
chuck one more,
please.
Todd, and you're in trouble.
You're hold him a minute, please.
With one game over, Todd's making up rules for the next.
What did I do? I didn't do nothing wrong.
You know what you did. I told you not to chuck him and not to ruin him. Don't kick anything. What if it had hit one of the others? Stand there and don't move, please. Think about what you've done. You need a wee-wee?
Yeah.
Go on then. Do not move. I'm taking Lewis to the toilet and I shall be back. And if you're out of that spot, I'll put you back now, okay? But if you're a good boy and stay there, then you can come out, okay? I can't. Go on then.
Oh. Have you been there the whole time? Have you? Are you sure? Oh, very good boy then, if you have. Come on then. Good boy, off you go and play then.
That's your book.
Having bent the rules again, it's round 1 for Todd. Upstairs, Becca's been napping for over an hour, but after his lie-in this morning, Paul is wide awake.
So it's good you woke up because Daddy's getting a bit bored downstairs. Got someone to play with now. Yeah. No. No. Go wake Mum up.
No, it's my eyes. I can't open them because you know they're so tired, they're still.
Yeah, that's what's like me in the mornings.
I've been in an hour's sleep.
You still do it to me in the morning. I'm bored down there, come down now.
I'm allowed to be tired of my mummy. Yeah, I know. You're raring to go, ain't you, chicken?
Having watched the Baileys go about their normal routine since arriving yesterday evening, Laverne has called Sherry and Martin in for their first consultation. Last night's bedtime saw Todd and Tamsin play up true to form, just as they do at home.
Out, now.
The big difference is that here Mum and Dad aren't allowed to lock them in.
Get into bed, now. It's getting silly. No, I'm not happy.
Martin and Sherry are now getting the chance to see what their kids got up to.
I have to see if it's dark, I won't go down there.
They're little, yeah.
They plot against each other, don't they?
Oh.
Okay.
Like
And that was a goodish night.
Yeah.
I didn't think that went too bad, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, but I still think
That was
okay.
a bit longer than I thought, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's still
so.
quite good
I didn't
because
realise it
there was
that
no actual screaming, kicking.
No.
We weren't actually being abused, which is quite nice for me.
So because there were certain things that weren't there, actually it felt much lighter than it was, but actually seeing it, it was over an hour of putting them into bed, resettling, taking them backwards and forwards 8 times. So quite a lot that you're having to do to help your children to settle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because with the lock on Todd's door, we know he's there, and you can leave him to a point of where we leave him till he's making too much noise and just getting on our nerves downstairs, and then you have to go up there. But then he doesn't stop, does it?
So one of the things that you've arrived at is we can keep Todd where we know he should be, or where we want him to be. But by doing something that is a bit outrageous, really, which is to lock him in his room.
Yeah.
So that's got to stop. The actual physically locking him in the room, as you're doing it, what do you think?
He shouldn't be locked in.
Yeah.
But we know he's safe, and we know there's nothing in his room that can physically harm him.
But he could throw himself about and hurt himself. And
yeah, but then we know because he'd go too quiet too soon.
Okay, gosh.
But
That's a really interesting way of trying to interpret what's going on.
But then if you unlock his door, all we're gonna have to do is spend the night doing is up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's either have him in the room and make noise until he eventually gives up, or spend the night up, down, up, down, up, down.
Okay.
But then if I put them to sleep, usually
if I'm at the house.
Okay, if you put them to sleep,
they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. But this is using your outrageous locking.
Yeah, well, the same.
Well, yeah,
both
but
you.
Okay, both do locks.
Yeah.
Okay, so no different for you.
No.
Locking's locking.
Locking.
Happen.
That's
okay.
it.
All right, so you can put them to bed, and they'll usually be fine.
Yeah.
What's fine? Banging, crashing?
No.
Okay.
Not a lot of noise.
Okay.
They will sleep quite early.
So there's a real difference in your parenting then? Just to put it mildly.
No. Well.
Yes, there is.
Which is?
Smacking. This shouting, this moment you come in from work, you shout at one of them for the even slightest thing, even saying like, oh, one of the kids might ask for a drink and they get shouted at, which one you just
it's because,
get a
well,
drink.
I'll come in from work, the place will be an absolute mess.
It's not an absolute mess all the time.
And I have to go around and tidy it up first.
No, you don't. You never do
in 10 minutes and then you go to work.
So you've come in from work and you're at the end of your tether. So you walk in and it's time to be dad again.
Yeah.
And that's quite a challenge.
Yeah, but then you don't do dad. All you do is you come in from work, put the dinner on the table and they go to bed. I have from 6 o'clock in the morning till the moment I go to work, normally at 6 o'clock at night, or if I don't go to work, till midnight, till whenever. And that is constant. You have an hour and a half with your children 5 days a week. It all boils down to me working, and it...
Well, no, because you say it all boils down to my parenting skills.
It annoys the hell out of me. What?
And you say it all boils down to me.
I don't say it all boils down to you. What?
Their behaviour and the
No.
way I treat them.
No, I don't think it's because of the way you treat them. I think you treat them wrong, but I don't think that causes their behaviour.
At the moment, you see, I'm trying to have the experience of being one of your children. And the experience is, whose rules?
Yeah, that's exactly the point.
Who's in charge?
Yeah. Who's in charge?
But there's more to this story. I mean, you've been together a long time. You've been married for
7 years.
7 years. You've been together for
about 7.5
7.5
years, maybe.
So it's very quick.
Yeah, it was.
So you must have known pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so smiling.
Yeah, and now look at it.
It's not that bad. It's
I
bad
dunno.
at times, and then it's good. When it's good, it's all right. Yeah.
All right.
And then when it's bad, I was just like...
Okay, I know about when it's bad. Tell me when it's good.
Yeah, when was the last time?
When it's good,
Well,
I don't know.
We don't actually do anything together.
We don't see it. We don't really see a lot of each other.
And when we do, the only time we do is when we're on holiday or there's a special occasion.
Okay. So this is going to be a fantastic experience. Where
I can actually get to see you.
All thrown in the house together.
I want to go to work.
Thanks.
How do you think it's going to be like?
Strange. Yeah.
I'm interested in how this is going to play out, actually, because it's as much about, you two as a couple, as parents, as it is about you being a family unit. We'll need to watch, see what happens, and then we'll have to start putting in the rules and see how you two cope with those sorts of things.
Yeah.
As the three dads take time out for a cigarette and a chat, the conversation turns to little Jessica Bailey.
Don't you look like your mum? Looks a bit your mummy, don't you? You do. I think the lovely little girl looks like you. But she's like her mum, isn't she?
I think so.
What do you think?
Yeah, does it?
She's definitely like a mum, she's spitting image of your mum, aren't you?
It's not your fault, is it, Jess? Never mind.
Yeah, what's your dad saying about your mum there?
I think Daddy.
Want to sit on my knee? Yeah. You don't, you're a big lad.
You know, it's Father Christmas comes and sit on his knee.
Also, if he just put his beard off and bite his face.
It's lunchtime, and for the last 4 days, Sammy's been craving fish and chips, so Elizabeth has treated the family to a bit of comfort food.
Not now.
Do you like fish malware?
No, I think it just melts in your mouth.
No, I don't like it.
I like it then.
I feel awful on not eating it. Is it nice?
No.
No.
Not dinner.
We're going on tomorrow.
Dinner.
Won't we? Won't we give her a big fat cuddle
I don't want to give her a cuddle.
and a kiss?
No. Sick. Come and kiss you. I'm sexy.
Your mum's sexy. Why'd you come on the show for? Is it just to get your face on telly?
Stop sleep routine out, you
It's early afternoon, and there have already been crisis talks in the house of tiny Tearaways.
Isn't it showing that our relationship can't go anywhere? Because we're just stuck at this point all the time, so why not just call it a day?
Tensions are running high,
And you say it all boils down to me.
I think you treat them wrong, but I don't think that causes their behaviour.
and with the kids behaving better than the parents, things are about to get worse.
You tap into everything that she's had to experience.
Smells of fish and chips now.
Despite having had great success with Lacey's sleep routine, progress with Becca and Paul's relationship is up and down. Even though Paul has admitted his anger at being abandoned as a child, and Becca has confessed worries over Lacey not having her dad around, there's still a big divide between them. It was a bad start to the day for the second morning running. And the couple have come close to splitting up. As things stand, Lacey's getting caught in the crossfire, and this morning's outburst is a perfect example.
Was that breakfast?
No, don't bloody bother, because you're off.
I'm making it.
Don't bother.
Where's that breakfast?
There's no point trying to do it now, Paul, when you're half an hour late. Yeah, I'm
Punch in your face.
Go on then, punch him in my face, chum. You brought this on yourself. Go on then, walk away, little boy.
Shut up.
Walk away.
I swear.
Yeah.
I lose it, you're gonna be sorry.
It's your fault for me having a go at you.
Shut
I don't
up.
care. Not sticking to routine. He's just me off today, though.
Oh, God. Sounds terrible. It's disgusting.
Sound different.
Quite shameful, really, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
The threats and the insults.
In my eyes, he brought it on himself. That's why I started having a go at him. Calling up the stairs, if you see on your cameras, I called him about 4 times, and then I come up eventually and asked. I don't care, man. That's what annoys me. Well, if you don't care, why are you here?
So, Paul, Becca's just asked you a question. If you don't care, why are you here?
We had to sort problems out, that's why. But
Yeah.
if she winds me up,
You look like a fool saying that. You really do.
What?
And
Like
if she,
a fool just
hold on one
sitting there saying
second.
that.
And if she winds you up,
No, I said she always knows not to wind me up.
okay.
So sometimes I get very angry.
No,
That's
it's
why
not
I've
to
been.
wind you up.
That's why I've been walked out, because didn't want to get angry in front of the cameras.
And the way I see it, I'm left thinking, what do each of you think about each other? That you can talk to each other in this way, you can make threats in this way.
That's why I don't see the point of being together anymore, because this is all it is all the time.
I'm still not sure that that's really the truth behind all of this. You know, the comments come out,
Yeah.
but like I'm saying, you're both sitting there today, you're the closest you've ever been on the sofa, and you're saying, I can't bother with it anymore. And I think we got somewhere close to trying to understand what that was about when I've met with you individually, that helped me to almost signpost a little bit why you're at the point you're at today. So that's what I want to spend some time on. And I know, I'm going to start with Becca, and I'm going to come on to you, Paul, that you're an incredibly strong young woman, and that strength comes from somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where. Don't ask me.
Yeah. Well, you do
No
know.
clue.
You do know. Tell me and Paul why, because unless you do this, I think you're going to get very stuck.
Okay. I've had to be strong, like, because living with a mother with an illness, not knowing what she's going to be like day to day, like, you need to sort of look after yourself, and other days you don't know whether you're going to get dinner, or you have to make it yourself. Things like that. I don't know, really. I don't know. But yeah.
And your mum was ill?
My mum's suffered with depression since she was younger. So, like, she's a lot better now, which is nice to have my mum back, because my mum wasn't my mum. My mum was my nan.
Right.
So I've never really, never really had an example of how to be a mum. Trying.
Yeah. But also what else connects for me just then is that you're saying, grow up with a mum, you don't know how she's going to be, you don't know if you're going to get dinner. And although you and I had a bit of an issue about, putting you in this routine, the one thing that I think it has done for you, because you've really gone for it, hook, line and sinker, is that you've stuck to it. And you want to be able to provide Lacey with that stability and that sense of consistency that you didn't have. So the minute, Paul, and you need to look at Becca, the minute you step out of line with that, you tap into everything that she's had to experience. So the minute you let her down, even by 15 minutes, you remind her of how unpredictable things were when she was living with her mum. And that is too hard. And you can't keep going there every day. You really can't. It's not fair to her, it's not fair to Lacey, and it's certainly not fair to you as a couple. Is that right? Do you understand, Paul? I mean, I feel like I've got to get the message in today, because when you told me about your childhood and why you feel committed to this relationship, I mean, you used the word abandoned, which felt to me like such a strong word. But again, I think similar to Becca, and it's interesting that you two have found each other, but you have talked about being a little boy who lived with his mum, having contact with his dad at the weekends, and then suddenly mum doesn't come to pick you up. I want you to think about why you say you're so committed to this relationship. Can you tell Becca?
I'm scared of what happening to me, happening to her.
What did you hear him say, Becca?
He's scared of being abandoned like he was. He doesn't want to have to do that.
And there were other things that you said, Paul, as well. Tell Becca what you said to me you didn't want to feel, or what you didn't want to become.
I don't want to become a weekend dad. Rest people with.
You didn't want to become a weekend dad.
Yeah, one of the people who would never hardly ever see him for a little time.
He wants to have more of a connection and be right in there where he's working, he's committed, and you can see it.
But it hasn't been like that at home, that's what I mean.
No. But you two have really got to use this space to make a decision. Because on the one hand, I feel that you really want to be committed to each other. But on the other hand, the sort of finger over the self-destruct button is always there.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking, who's going to press it first? And I really, at this moment, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work out for you guys.
Neither do I.
Hmm?
Neither do I.
Paul, do you have a different feeling?
No, hope it works out, but
You're not sure. So all three of us, not sure. What will have to happen for it to be a bit clearer whether or not it's going to work? What have you noticed about yourselves in this house that will have to change?
stupid arguments.
Okay.
Wind each other up.
So the way in which you talk to each other is a big factor.
I'd be fine if she just wound me up. Because I just...
Do it all right then. Do it when you're meant to and I won't.
She knows I have bad temper.
But just stop a minute, because listen to what's going on now. Yeah, you've got to find a different way to talk to each other.
I want a kiss. No.
Why don't I just go now and leave you to it?
Because I don't want you to go.
Come with me.
It's been a dramatic morning in the Butters corner, with Sammy threatening to pack her bags and leave the house.
I mean that all outside.
Yes,
And
it's
your
for the triplets.
Elizabeth has had to leave for the afternoon, but Laverne has set up an activity for the Butters to remind them of the power of play.
Play with you guys. Hi, David.
Hello.
Sammy.
She's asleep in the white room with Alfie.
Has she been long?
About 20 minutes, half an
Oh,
hour.
long enough. Can you go wake her up?
Gonna have
Thanks.
some fun.
No, she's not. She's going to eat me alive. Babe?
What?
Are you getting up? We have to go outside and do some activities with the kids.
I don't feel like it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, oh, I will Alfie through.
Five minutes later, and Sammy's awake and raring to go.
Look, Mummy! Look, Mummy!
Well, sort of.
You're right. It's waking up.
Yeah.
Okay, you two. Now, you know, this morning we had a plan, but we've obviously changed that around. And this afternoon, because I think that one of the key things for you guys is how you work together and how you share things out and how you support each other, we're just going to have some time with you and the kids, and I want you to be encouraging them to get dressed up and then just play a simple game of Simon Said with them. And you're going to take it in turns, okay? So one of you will be holding the timer. So, for example, David, if you're holding the timer, Sammy has to give them... Sammy has to give them a couple of minutes of instruction of what Simon wants you to do, and then you swap over, okay? And I'm also very interested in helping your children move their language skills on as well. So if you're saying to them, Simon says put his hands on his head, you want to see how quickly they can do that, because just playing with them here now, they're very good at listening, but they've got to be very good at saying it as well. All right, Sammy, do you want to give instructions first then?
No, I want the timer.
Okay, hold that till it goes through. Woo.
To make Simon Says more fun, the Butters get to play the game in fancy dress.
Right, are you going to get dressed up? Huh? Right, what do you want to do? Yeah, you can be the Indian.
Yeah.
Go on then, girls, have a look in the bucket.
Oh, do you want to put this on? Look alright, Bobby Dazzler.
Coloured wigs and funny hats seem to be a hit with the triplets, and even Sammy's starting to cheer up.
I love things like this.
Turn around, face Daddy.
Come look at me. No, stand up, stand up, stand up. Yeah. Simon says, put your hand on your head. Well done. Simon says, count to 5.
2, 1, 2.
1. Lily. Simon says, shake your bum. Shake your bum. Shake your bum. Simon says...
Waiting, look at them waiting for you.
Touch your knees.
There's been nothing left for me to do.
Another airplane. Right, it's Sammy's turn now. And it's up to you to make sure that they stay wanting to do this. You can switch it around, it doesn't have to stay the same game. Remember what we said about being creative?
What are the games?
So you might get them to run around a little bit.
Simon says...
Make a noise, makes different noises.
Scream!
Well done, Lewis.
Well done.
Simon says, brush your teeth.
Good brushing.
Simon says, close your eyes.
You're very good, Sammy.
Oh,
Great imagination.
Simon says...
So hard on yourself. Go on, where are they going to go to?
I don't know what they're going to understand.
Could they just run to the fence and back?
Where's the ball? Simon says, go to the fence and back.
Run, run, run.
Remember to slow down when you get near the fence.
Look how cool does it look.
And run back. Come on then.
Hey.
Simon says, come to Mummy. Can we just like run it back and then I might get tired?
Well done.
There's no guarantee of that.
Simon says, give each other a kiss. Oh.
Oh, Lewis, give Lewis a kiss.
Kiss Lewis. How does Daddy look? I think a family portrait, family photo. Can you all line up?
Smile for
Okay.
the camera.
1, 2, 3.
It's been an hour and a half since Paul and Becca's consultation with Laverne. They've been discussing the idea of leaving the house tomorrow. Now Lacey's sleep problem has improved.
And what we've done very well is, or what you guys have done very well, is at least you stuck to the routine so that everything is happening when it should happen and that she only has one nap and that dinner is early enough so that you can really play a lot before and a bit after and then quieten things down.
So we're not going to leave her with her sleeping through the night? Leave here with her sleeping through?
No.
No?
I don't think so. Because even if she does it here, she's still got to learn it at home. So you'd rather that she'd learnt it fully at home. Start something which she understands and then fully learn it and master it at home.
How long do you reckon we've got left? Did you say we're going tomorrow?
I think it goes tomorrow. Yeah. Because I think that what happens...
I know it's not going to work at home. I know it. I don't like
Which
that
bit?
I just know. It's
The
not.
sleep?
It's not. I could have sorted out the routine as long as, you know, even if you sent me home and done that, I would have felt better
But you
doing it
hadn't
that
done
way.
when you came into the house.
Well, yeah, I just needed a name and a start, where to start, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But that's what you've got from coming in. And what you're conveying now, I think, is a sense of disappointment about everything not being fixed.
Yeah.
And actually, I can't send you away with everything fixed. I can only send you away somewhere on your journey.
I just feel like we're going to go home and, you know, things have fallen apart. Like, it's just different being here.
I think it's too early to go.
That's what I feel. I need this, like, I know I'm crying, like, I'm just scared.
Come on, let's go to the garden. Come on. Let's not do this in here.
I'm just so scared. You really don't understand. I feel so pathetic. I really do. I've got to cry. There's like something in me. I've got to cry. I just want to blurt it all out.
Come on, let's do that then.
Before I come in here, I was in a relationship with Paul for Lacey. I don't want to be with him. I don't love him.
Okay.
And it's hard to be with someone who doesn't understand you. And I've lost my contact with him, my bond with him. thing that we had before Lacey, and I want that relationship, the part of relationship back, where we'd sit and talk and we actually laugh, and, you know, like where it's been here. I just can't cope with it.
Okay, calm down. Come on. But I think also what you're saying is you feel a real sense of panic for me saying it's time.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel it's time. We can slow it down.
No, because I feel bad because you feel like I'm ready and I don't even feel there. I know you're saying we've come over some hurdles, but I just feel like we haven't, you know? I know it sounds terrible. Yes, we've got her to sleep, but because there's nothing special there for me to feel afterwards that there's something worth putting her to sleep for.
Okay. So it's a real realisation that even if we fix one bit of it, we've suddenly got another huge bit to fix.
No, but you know what, if he wasn't there, like, I notice I'm different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy without him.
And that's really hard. Maybe you need to tell him.
I've tried it so many times, breaking up and, you know, just saying you can come over on set days just to keep my routine going, you know. The days you can visit her, you can have her the one day I'm at work, and, you know, we'll work around it, but he just won't move on. It's like he's latched onto me, which I feel bad because he has no one else. Because I played a mother figure for so long, which was wrong for me to take on, but because I'm so, like, controlling and I just don't, you know, I don't notice it. And then when I needed him through pregnancy, I really needed him. And he was there and he felt wanted. And now, like, he's not. Like, I just can't. I don't know.
You don't want to go home with him?
I wanted him to come in here because I felt that no matter what happens between us, I always want him to be a father to her and see her. So he's going to have to know the ways of ins and outs of what you show us.
But Donnie, he can still be her dad. It won't be in the way that, you know, the picture books show it, but he can still be her dad. Mm-hmm. Okay. Paul, I feel that we have a really complicated situation here to try and sort out. Because Becca's saying, and Becky, you'll have to help me out if I get this wrong.
No, it's fine.
That actually the conflict within her is so great. Part of her wants to be with you because you're Lacey's father, but there's another part of her that really doesn't want to be with you. Yeah, and some of that not wanting to be with you is stuff that she knows herself, but also what you put into the pot, really.
Well, I don't think that's good enough reason. She just wants to be with me just because of Lacey's father.
Quite
That's
right. It's not a good enough reason. But it doesn't make it hurt any less for either of you to have to think about it like that.
I want you to be there for Lacey. I don't want you to leave her. I don't want you to hate me.
We've done the right way about it. Well,
Paul, don't go just yet.
I'm getting angry.
You know what I mean? I've tried bringing it up before.
Okay. So it's hard for him to let you go.
Him and his family are really nice people, you know. I couldn't have chose a better dad for her. No matter what happens between me and her.
So where's the worry? What's the worry about?
He's always going to be there because he needs too much of my attention. And I just don't want to give it to him anymore.
You had it.
I just reject him so much. I just don't know why he wants to be here so much, you know? I feel like I'm pushing him away so much.
Maybe he loves you?
Yeah, but I don't love him.
You don't love him? Okay, well that's maybe all we need to know.
Yeah, but I've told him that.
That you don't love him?
I've told him that before. Because also when I found out, like, when I was at least 2 months, I must have been, we split up. And then I found out that I was pregnant with that. We said we were going to make a go of things because I even knew then we were going off separate ways. He's never been right for me and I've known that. Okay. But just at a crucial stage in like my life, I just felt really needy and wanted someone really clingy, you know?
I'm going to go and have a chat with him, see if I can bring him back in. Because he's obviously very upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be back in a sec.
This house is just, load of rubbish.
Do you know what it is? You don't like hearing the truth. It hurts. It's hurt me.
Good, they peed off now.
Hey. You sit there and I'll sit. We're in a very, very tricky place now. What are you thinking at the moment as a result of what Becca said?
Angry.
Mm-hmm. Tell me what you're angry about.
I just had more anger to me because I have a lot of anger in me as it is.
Do you? Or does Becca see a lot of that? So perhaps that's not the most attractive Paul that she has around with her at the moment.
But I can't help it.
Because?
I just have anger in me from the past.
And that's all the way through, you know that? Or has it come more recently?
Yeah, we got more anger since Lacey's been born.
Since Lacey's been born. Because Becca talks about feeling that she really, really loved that bit of you that needed her so much. Because then she could look after you. And now she can't look after you and Lacey. And I think she just feels overwhelmed.
I don't want to get looked after.
I know you don't, but I think that might have been something that got set up in your relationship without you noticing. Should we just stop here? Should we go in and just have a chat without the cameras? Yeah, I think we need to do that, don't we? See where we're going to go next. Yeah, okay, let's go in. Let's go and find Becca.
It's now up to Becca and Paul to decide if they're prepared to work through their issues for the sake of Lacey.
So her and Paul, I mean, if I was Mystic Meg, or if indeed you were, should this couple be together? Will they stay together? What do you think they're going to do?
I've got absolutely no idea, because I think they are typical 17-year-olds where breaking up and making up are two things that they quite enjoy doing at different times. And so, you know, it's very difficult for me. And I think Becca at times really wanted me to say, you need to do this. And the one thing that I can't do is make that decision for them. All I can do is help them to really hear each other and hear what they're saying, and then for them to go away and make a decision.
The last few hours have seen Sammy, David, Becca and Paul at their lowest point yet since arriving. It's early evening and Laverne has asked everyone to get together in the garden in an effort to lift the mood.
All right, now I want to see fun, I want to see excitement, I want to see encouragement of your children as you and they run down, dip your hand in. There are dinosaurs in there that need to come out and be placed behind you. All right? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go!
Go, Todd.
Come on, encourage your children. Encourage your children.
Get dinosaurs in there.
Put them in.
Go on, Tammy.
Yeah.
Todd, you're going to wait. You're going to go back and wait with Mummy. Go back and wait with Mummy.
You got one, have you? Go on then.
Look at Lacey's head. She's been in there, guys.
Oh, let's get another one.
Put your hands in there, girl.
Put your hands in.
It's taking.
You got one.
Go on, Lace. Go, go, go.
Oh, Sammy, be careful.
That's got on jeans.
Oh no, look at you.
I think that the parents are enjoying this more than anticipated.
Get your shoes off.
Oh, it was
Top cheap jeans, not.
That's it, Todd.
No.
There's no more in there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Look, it was lovely to see you all having so much fun. And really, we put that in as a reminder that you're here to make the most of the space, yeah, and to make and create your own fun as well. That's what your kids need from you, that's what they enjoy.
That's all from the all-new house of tiny Tearaways. So we've had makeups, we've had breakups, we've had tears, we've had a bit of laughter. Join us next time to see if Elizabeth and Laverne can help our warring families.
I don't think it's going to work on, to be honest.
I truly believe,
Yeah,
like,
that you-
we were going to sort Lacey's sleeping out.
You know, you're such a baby, Sammy. All you do is...
Why am I a baby?
Because you are.
Leave the light off.
No!
I don't know how to play with her. I don't know how to talk to her.